the book and the coaching course, Finding a Job. This video is talking about finding a job, and I came to the revelation that people are having a tough time finding jobs. And as I talk to people who are looking for jobs and who are having problems finding jobs, what I've noticed is that most people go about it the wrong way. And their approach is the old way of doing things. And with social media, there's just no reason to do things the old way. Things have changed, and relationships are sometimes more important than what your immediate qualifications are or the quality of your resume. I've often seen, and it's often been my experience, that when an applicant is looking for a position, they can send their resume, they can make phone calls, but if they don't connect with the person who's hiring for the job via social media, they really don't stand a chance. And the people that have figured out using social media as an advantage in the job search process, they have a key advantage over people that are not doing it. Monster and Indeed and Career Builder, sites like that, the ladders, they're great sites, but the problem is that there's so many people out there doing the exact same thing that you're doing that you can't differentiate yourself between those people, and you're going by the luck of the draw. It's just like in advertising. Currently, businesses can advertise on a billboard, but you're taking a chance on whether or not someone's seeing it, versus delivering an ad directly to that person's Facebook page, knowing that that's what they're interested in based off of whatever research you've done. I figured, why not do the same thing in the job market? It just makes perfect sense. You target a company or companies that you're interested in, and you contact them directly. Now, a lot of people will say, well, why do you give away this much information? This is just the free video. Why would I need to go out and buy the book? Well, the book goes step by step. I'm just giving you some ballpark ideas and reflections that may help you find a job, because whether or not you buy the book or get the book is really not that important to me. I mean, I hope that people get the book and they love it and they buy it and they recommend it to their friends and help me make bestseller and stuff like that, and attend the webinars and the trainings and the live events. But that's not the most important part of this. The most important part is helping people find jobs. In this economy, you have to find a job in order to get by. And I keep running into people daily and daily and daily that just cannot find work. And, we get into these conversations about, well, I've done this, I've done that, I've done this, I've done that. But before we get started on all of that, I think there's some key things that we need to talk about in relationship to actually finding a job that start before you go out to find the job. And when I say go out to find the job, I mean go out on the web. Go out to, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google, to search the different job sites. Whatever the particular thing is that you're doing to find the companies that you're interested in applying for, we need to talk about some personal development stuff. Finding a job online or via social media is as much about your personal attitude and how you're feeling and what you're doing as much as it is about actually, finding the right position. So, I was having a conversation with a friend, and this friend has been looking for a job for several months, going on almost 2 years. And so, I've offered advice here and there. Some they've taken, some they haven't. So I just really had to sit down with him and figure out, what's going on with you and why are you not able to make this transition? Why is it that you're applying for so many jobs but you're not getting interviews? Why are you not making that connection with the people that you're applying to? So we sat down and we went over some things. The resume and all the technical stuff was fine. That's often not a problem. most of the time the problem is with the attitude, and the attitude can come across in the way that they communicate. So we went out to LinkedIn, and I'm like, okay, let's look at a job that you apply for, and let's walk me through what you did. Excuse me. So they walked me through what they did, and basically all they did was they found a company via the job search on LinkedIn. They found a position, they clicked on the position, they clicked apply for, and that was it. And then they told me, and I've not heard anything back from this company. And they said it with an attitude as if the company owed them a communication. And, you know, I just have the personal feeling that when you approach a job search as if someone owes you something, or as if you know that you're not going to get the position, so you're just going through the motions of doing it, it's just not right. So I coached them a little bit on exactly, you know, what they did right and what they did wrong. What they did right was they looked for the job. They actually went out and they took their time, they went to LinkedIn and they looked for a job. That was pretty much the only thing they did right. So, you know, I asked them questions. You know, who was it that posted the job? Have you tried connecting with that person? Well, no. Why would I do that? Well, why wouldn't you do that? If that's the person who's posted the job, that's the person that's hiring for the position or recruiting for the position, it just makes sense to contact them. The first reply, you know, not the first reply, but their response back to me was, well, can I do that? Well, of course you can do that. What do you have to lose? If the person doesn't want you to contact them, or they're not interested in being contacted, they're just going to tell you they're not interested or not going to respond, and no harm, no foul. There's nothing to lose, so why not contact them? So we went through some steps of contacting the person and how you actually go about contacting them when you're not connected to them. This person had all of about 36, maybe 37 contacts. Problem number one, expand your network. You know, you're not going to find a position in a company that fits, you know, what your requirements are and also serves that company if you're only connected to 36 people, and those 36 people aren't in your industry and they're just people that you currently work with that aren't influential in any other industries. I mean, if you're looking for a job internally at the company that you're already at, if you're working, or you're looking to get hired onto a company that one of your friends works at, that's great. But usually that small circle of people is not enough to actually get your name out there and to get some traction. So we addressed a little bit about that, about, you know, the number of people that you're connected to on LinkedIn, who you're connecting to, and why you're connecting to them. We also addressed, you know, what do you belong to? What groups do you belong to on LinkedIn? Have you taken advantage of the groups? Are you participating and active in the groups? Are you using the time that you have since you're off to keep your skills sharp in your particular discipline? This particular person happened to be involved in she's a teacher. So, you know, in being a teacher, it's, you know, I'm like, there are groups out on LinkedIn about teachers and tutoring and some of the subjects. You know, are you active in those groups? Are you establishing yourself as an authority in those groups? And it kind of didn't get it. And, you know, that's one of the things that we cover is changing the paradigm of becoming an employee of just a job in a place that you go to work for 8 hours to you're an actually you know, an expert in what you do, because you are. No matter what your job is, I don't care if it's flipping burgers, teaching, aerospace engineer, you're an expert at your particular job. You should act like it. So cover that with them on, you know, becoming an expert in their particular discipline, in the thing that they're strongest in, and talking about it more often, and getting online and meeting people and going through some stuff like that. So we went through that. We also went through some of the other steps that I cover in the book as far as, you know, maximizing your LinkedIn profile. The profile wasn't complete. It's not hard to do, but you have to complete your profile, and you should complete it to 100%. So making sure that, you know, you go through all of your current, past, and present positions and that they're updated with accurate information that truly reflects what you did at your particular and past positions. We also went through, we went through like the three key things that you need to have in your profile to get you noticed on LinkedIn. We also talked about your tagline and what it says, and how what your tagline says can help you get found in search. And when recruiters look for people online, whether it be on Google, LinkedIn, Yahoo, Bing, they're searching via keywords. When they're searched via those keywords, if you don't have those keywords in your profile, you're not going to be found by that recruiter. Not only can you be found on LinkedIn, but you can also be found on Google, and it's very likely that you'll be found on Google if you have the right keyword search terms in your profile. So try this, and this is something it's widely known depending on which circles you travel in, but a lot of job seekers don't know this. So this is a freebie. Take this one, and I hope that this helps you out. Go onto LinkedIn, and in your current position, whatever that particular position is, make sure that you have a description of what you do in your current position, and you have it up there in your description kind of high. And then in your past, make sure you also have those same keywords, the same exact ones you had in your current one. So with me, social media St. Louis is in my current, past, and present things on LinkedIn. So when you search for social media in St. Louis, I'm on the first page. I think I'm number 3, because LinkedIn sorts via relevancy. So when LinkedIn sees that this person is in social media in St. Louis, they're going to automatically go to the profiles that have those relevant search terms. So you type in social media St. Louis, there you go. Go out there, take a look at my profile, study my profile and some of the things that I've done with it, and you'll get some great ideas on how to optimize your profile so that you actually show up in search. Now, if you can afford it, LinkedIn Premium, you can do, I think it's $4.99 per month. Do it on a month-to-month basis so that you can get some insights into who's viewing your profile and what you're showing up for and the keywords that you're showing up for. It's an invaluable resource for knowing exactly what people are searching for and when and how you're showing up in search. And that can help you target your profile for those particular keywords as long as they're relevant to the position that you're trying to get, or the industry that you're in, or whatever it is that you're trying to do or find an opportunity or a job in on LinkedIn. We also went through some of the things as far as, there's some secrets into how you make connections and contacts. I feel like they're secrets because they're things that I've only done and I've not heard of other people doing them. I can get a call back on most positions, qualified or not, 98% of the time. It just really depends on how you approach contacting the person and what you approach them about. You can't contact someone via LinkedIn and immediately ask for a job or immediately say, hey, can I send you my resume? As a matter of fact, I went over one of the key things I talk about in the book, and one of the things that you'll see on the website is, don't send your resume. Not sending your resume is the quickest way to get an interview. I don't send my resume immediately. It doesn't even come up in conversation. We actually have a conversation before we have an interview. And, I recommend that you do that 100% of the time if it is at all possible. Have a conversation with a person, if possible, that's going to hire you or the recruiter before you ever send a resume, before you ever schedule an interview, and definitely before you schedule the interview, you should be having a conversation with them about your qualifications. And I have a script that I've written that is worked for me. And I don't follow it letter to letter because it's just part of my vernacular at this point. But I give it to people to give them an idea of, this is how you say what you say. This gets you to point B. So follow this step, say this. This will get you that. And it can be either over the phone or via email. Most of the time, your first contact is going to be via email. I also have the Twitter phrase that will almost guarantee to get a response back when you send it to a recruiter on Twitter. And I talk about how you find out whether or not that recruiter is on Twitter, and where to look, and how to contact them, and what you say to contact them, and what you also do, the protocol that you follow, and whether or not you follow them first or you @reply them. And I also review, some of the things on Twitter if you're not familiar with Twitter. I go over some of the basics, but this book is not a LinkedIn course on the intricacies of configuring your profile. We're going to go over how to optimize your profile, but there's going to be some basic stuff in there that you just should know. Also, it's not a Twitter book. I'm not going to teach people how to use Twitter. The FAQs on Twitter are really all you need to learn how to use Twitter. Go through those, read those, figure it out. If you don't have a Twitter account, we talk about that. We do touch on that a little bit because it's part of it. And then finally, Facebook. You use all three. You have to use all three. Sometimes you don't need to get to the third one in order for this to be successful, but you do have to use all three. I personally use all three, but most of the time when I'm going through opportunities on LinkedIn or doing something, I do this to keep my skills sharp. I will apply at a company, or, well, not actually, I will talk to people at different companies. Number one, just to get an idea of what the company is like, because I'm currently not actually looking for a job. But I do this to keep my skills sharp because it gets you opportunities. You never know if an opportunity is going to be right for you if you're not looking. And if you're never looking and you're not challenging yourself, you're never going to get better. So I challenge myself often by going out and looking at companies I think I would like to work at and inquiring about those companies in some of the ways that I cover in the book. So basically what I'm saying is, if you can, get the book. If not, make sure you attend the webinar. I do have an upcoming webinar where I'm going to go over, 2 or 3 things that are key, that if you never pick up the book, you never buy it, you never see it, you're going to be able to improve your profile on LinkedIn. You're going to be able to know some of the key things to say and how to connect with the decision makers and the recruiters that are actually hiring for jobs that have open postings out there, and how to connect with them. We're going to cover, some personal development stuff, some attitude stuff, some adjustments that you need to make, some ways you need to change your conversations. All the kind of stuff is going to be covered in my upcoming webinar. If you can't wait on a webinar, tune in for another video. I'll probably do another video on just the conversation piece of it, because there's a conversation that needs to happen between you and the recruiter, or you and the decision maker, before you actually talk to them on the phone. And getting that right is going to make the difference between whether or not they take the time to respond to you or whether or not they continue to ignore you. Now, by no means can I make a claim that I'm going to be able to get you a job. I can't do that. But what I can do is provide you with the tools to get the best opportunity to get in front of those decision makers and have them take a good look at you versus everyone else out there in the pool that's trying to get their attention. So, why jump in the pool with everyone else when you can walk poolside, sit down next to them in their luxury cabana, and start a conversation? I mean, that's really the way I look at it. You look at, if you've ever been to a pool, one of those, ritzy pools in Las Vegas, and, you've got all these people in the water, and they're all trying to be seen, and it's the people that are sitting in the little private booths that really get all the attention, and everyone in the pool is trying to get their attention. Well, instead of doing that, you just walk up to one of the cabanas and you start a conversation. That way you're sitting down in the shade chilling, and everybody else is in the pool flailing around trying to get attention. And I look at the job market a lot like that. You have a lot of people flailing around in the pool trying to get attention, but the people that are actually getting the jobs and getting noticed are the ones that are making the contacts and making it a one-to-one conversation instead of, hey, look at me, I'm Mr. Applicant and I need a job, can you help me? It doesn't become that kind of conversation. It becomes a kind of conversation is, hey, I'm a professional and I may be interested in your company if it fits my needs and if I think that my skills align with your company. And see, I'm already giving you stuff from what I'm going to be doing on the webinar and stuff that's in the book, because I just can't help it. I love talking about this stuff. So by all means, please sign up for the updates. We're going to be doing some webinars, like I said, coming up here in the new year. 2012 is almost here. and so that's going to be a good thing. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I know it's a little bit long, but I do that so that hopefully you pick up some things, you pick up some tips in the video, and that you sign up for the updates so that you can be the first one to be notified by the webinar. The webinar is going to be limited, and this particular one happens to be free. We do some webinars where there are some paid webinars because they're actual trainings where we look at people's profiles, where I go through step by step with them. We review some of the stuff that's in the book. We go through it step by step, and it's premium content that you normally would have to pay for. But later about that, you'll find out about that in later webinars. We do plenty of free webinars where you get a ton of content. I'm going to be having some special guests, some job experts, all types of stuff that are going to help you find a job in this new economy using social media and not being so traditional with the way that you go about your job search and finding opportunities. So this is Vernon Ross. You can find this out on vernonross.com/finding a job, which is also the name of the book. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thanks a lot for tuning into the video. And remember, you can't continue to do the same things that you did and get different results. So with that, thanks a lot, and I hope you enjoy the video. Please comment below, either on Facebook, Twitter, or some of the other websites that we have down there. I really do appreciate your feedback, and I would like to know what you guys think.